As the ancient philosopher Seneca wisely said, every fresh start marks the end of something else. But imagine for a moment that within just 1 week, not a year, not a decade, you could completely redefine who you are. Not a slightly better version of your current self, but someone entirely transformed. So much so that your closest friends, even your family, would be stunned by the difference. This isn't about wishful thinking or flashy self-help slogans. This is a real, demanding, and intentional process to rebuild yourself from the inside out. You don't need endless time. What you need is unwavering commitment for 7 consecutive days. This journey begins by stripping away who you've been. You must dismantle the patterns that have silently kept you stuck, the doubts, the fears, the comfortable routines that have dulled your edge. Becoming unrecognizable means letting go of the version of yourself that settled for less, avoided challenges, and postponed purpose. It's about aligning your actions with the man you aspire to become. Disciplined, grounded, and deeply intentional. Too often, we wait for the right time. We convince ourselves that change is a slow climb, something that will happen once everything aligns. But that's not how true transformation works. It starts with a bold decision in the present, not some distant future. The real shift happens the moment you decide that enough is enough, that the current version of you is no longer acceptable. That moment, if followed by relentless action, becomes the turning point of your life. Over the course of these 7 days, your thoughts will sharpen, your behavior will recalibrate, and your energy will shift to match a higher standard. This is not just a mental exercise. It's a full reset of how you live, how you think, and how you show up in the world. If you've ever longed for a clean slate, this is your chance. But make no mistake, this requires more than interest. It demands total commitment. No shortcuts, no justifications. So if you're tired of watching life pass you by, if you're ready to stop shrinking yourself to fit into a life that no longer inspires you, and if you're truly prepared to take full ownership of who you become, then this is your moment. The next 7 days will shape your future in ways you can't yet imagine. Your reinvention starts today, right here, right now. Day 1. Destroy the old self. Before you can create anything powerful, you have to dismantle what's holding you back. Today marks the beginning of a battle, not with the world, but with your old self. The part of you that clings to comfort, settles for less, and lives according to outdated beliefs. Real change doesn't begin with improvement. It starts with destruction. You must confront the thoughts, habits, and patterns that have kept you locked in place. Not just notice them, own them. Accept responsibility for every area of your life that no longer aligns with your purpose. Then, make a deliberate choice to let it all go. Transformation demands sacrifice. And today, that sacrifice is the person you used to be. This isn't just about recognizing your flaws. It's about deciding that you're done carrying them, done making excuses, done living small. The discomfort of change is temporary, but the pain of staying stuck lasts a lifetime. That pain, that quiet ache of wasted potential, is what you must be willing to face. Growth comes through friction. The mind resists change because it fears what it doesn't know. But that fear is just another illusion, and it's your job to crush it. You were never broken. Your previous self had a role, to teach you, to challenge you, but he's no longer needed. To truly evolve, you have to dismantle the mental structures that held him together. Ask yourself, what fears have controlled me? What stories have I believed to justify staying still? What comfortable routines have become my cage? Becoming aware of these things isn't enough. You must release them entirely. Let go of the identity you once clung to, and you'll discover how much power you've had all along. Now it's time for something symbolic, not just internal reflection, action. Write down the excuses, the limiting habits, the behaviors that have no place in your future. Then destroy that list. Burn it. Rip it apart. Throw it into the wind. Make it real. This is how you prove to yourself that you're done with who you were, that you're stepping into a version of yourself that refuses to look back. This moment becomes a declaration to your subconscious. The old you is finished. The new you has arrived. But know this isn't a one-time event. This is only the beginning. From this point forward, every choice you make must reflect the man you are becoming. When doubt creeps in, when the old habits try to pull you back, remind yourself, you are no longer that person. You are not tied to past failures or outdated labels. You are becoming something greater. Transformation is never easy. It requires a deep resolve, constant discipline, and the unshakable belief that you are capable of more. But if you stay the course, you'll realize that everything you seek, the power, the purpose, the clarity, was waiting just beyond the destruction of who you used to be. Keep going. You are not breaking down. You are breaking through. Day 2. Physical reinvention. Your physical state is not random. It's a mirror of your habits, your discipline, and how seriously you take your own development. If you appear sluggish or carry yourself without energy, it's often because your actions have led you there. Today marks a shift. From this moment forward, how you treat your body will be the foundation of your transformation. Every movement, every meal, every training session is a signal to yourself and the world that you are serious about growth and self-mastery. The Stoics understood this connection deeply. To them, physical training wasn't about vanity. It was a tool for building mental toughness. They intentionally placed themselves in uncomfortable situations to strengthen their will. Seneca fasted and exposed himself to harsh conditions, not out of necessity, but because he knew that the body and mind grow stronger through shared challenge. This principle, known as premeditatio malorum, teaches us to prepare our minds by exposing ourselves to voluntary hardship. In doing so, we become better equipped to face adversity when it arrives uninvited. When you commit to physical training, you're doing more than building strength. You're practicing focus, persistence, and clarity. You're learning to push through resistance and develop the mental endurance to stay on course even when it's hard. Every rep, every run, every drop of sweat contributes to the person you are becoming. The goal is not simply to look different, but to be different, stronger, more resilient, and unshakable. Transformation begins with how you move and how you fuel yourself. Take charge of your physical health. Remove anything that diminishes your performance. Processed food, excess sugar, alcohol. These don't just affect your body. They cloud your thinking and drain your energy. Replace them with foods that energize and support you. Lean proteins, vegetables, nuts, berries, and plenty of water. Hydration, too, is critical. It boosts your focus, supports your recovery, and strengthens your ability to handle pressure. Drink consistently throughout the day, especially when you're pushing your physical limits. Physical transformation isn't only for the young or athletic. If you're older, movement is still essential. Simple actions, walking, stretching, body weight resistance, can keep your joints mobile, your muscles strong, and your mind sharp. mindful movement, deep breathing, and consistency matter more than intensity. Find ways to enjoy the process. When movement becomes part of your lifestyle, whether through gardening, swimming, or daily walks, it becomes sustainable, and the results compound. Your body is the temple in which your willpower is forged. Guard what enters it. Not just food, but information, conversations, and thoughts. Everything you absorb shapes your mindset. Create rituals that reinforce your identity. Eat slowly, intentionally, and with appreciation. Cut out mindless habits that serve no purpose. Build a plan you can sustain, one that supports your evolution and reflects who you want to be. Start a workout routine that challenges you. Whether it's strength training, calisthenics, running, or boxing, commit to pushing your boundaries. Straighten your posture. Walk with purpose. Make every gesture reflect inner strength. Take a photo today, then again in a week. When you compare the two, the physical changes will be clear, but more importantly, the mindset behind those changes will have evolved. That is the beginning of becoming unrecognizable. Day 3. Rewire your mind. Redefine your life. Everything begins in the mind. If you want to become unrecognizable, your transformation must begin with a radical mental shift. This isn't about positive thinking or surface-level motivation. It's about reprogramming your internal reality, how you see yourself, how you process the world, and how you respond to everything around you. Each belief, thought, and reflex is a mental habit you've acquired over time. Some drive you forward, others quietly hold you back. True change demands that you identify the mental patterns that no longer serve you and replace them with thoughts that align with who you're becoming. The first step is awareness. Why do you believe what you believe? Where did those limitations come from? Which fears have been silently dictating your behavior? Once you identify these mental boundaries, you can begin dismantling them one by one. Recognition is important, but action is what transforms you. The Stoics taught that our reality is shaped not by events, but by our interpretation of them. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that mastery begins when we realize that we hold power over our own minds, even when the outside world feels uncontrollable. To think like a Stoic is to take full responsibility for your reactions. You stop seeing obstacles as setbacks and start viewing them as mental training grounds. Seneca practiced voluntary hardship to build resilience, not because it was comfortable, but because it prepared him for life's unpredictability. Similarly, when you intentionally face discomfort, you cultivate strength. A resilient mind isn't formed in comfort. It's forged in challenge. Changing your mindset also means changing your internal language. The words you speak to yourself shape your identity. Replace indecisive, self-limiting language with words that affirm power and clarity. Don't say, "I can't." Say, "I'll figure it out." Don't say, "I'm not sure." Say, "I'll learn." How you speak defines how you act, and how you act determines who you become. A Stoic mind is rooted in presence. It doesn't get distracted by things outside its control. It doesn't give power to chaos or anxiety. It remains steady and focused. Train your mind to stay calm when everything around you is shaking. Practice composure. Make choices with clarity, and view hardship as a sculptor shaping your strength. Adopt the Stoic view of amor fati, the love of fate. Instead of resisting what happens, embrace it. Every struggle becomes a stepping stone when you stop wishing for ease and start seeing growth in every challenge. Time is not infinite. Memento mori. Remember that life is fleeting. This isn't a source of fear. It's a reminder to live deliberately. Every moment wasted in hesitation is a moment lost. Act with intention. Choose growth over comfort. There is no perfect moment to begin. There is only now. Take ownership of your life and stop waiting for circumstances to align. Feed your mind intentionally. Read content that sharpens your thinking. Listen to voices that challenge you. Eliminate distractions that reinforce your old limitations. Whether that's media, social feeds, or empty conversations. Begin a habit of daily reflection. Journal your thoughts. Examine the patterns that limit you, and rewrite them into empowering truths. When discomfort arises, seek it out. Face fears deliberately. Each challenge becomes a tool to sharpen your mental edge. Add physical discipline to strengthen your inner resolve. Cold showers, fasting, intense training. These are not punishments, but mental exercises. They train your willpower. The stronger your ability to endure discomfort, the more resilient your mind becomes in every other domain of life. Use visualization to reinforce your identity. See yourself as the person you're becoming. Imagine how they move, speak, and lead. The mind doesn't distinguish between imagination and reality. When you visualize consistently, your actions begin to match what your mind believes is real. Above all, act like the person you want to be. Not someday, now. Speak, move, and choose like your future self already exists. Because transformation isn't something you wait for. It's something you live. Monitor your habits. Refine your decisions. Eliminate the things that don't align with your highest potential. Master your mind, and the rest will follow. Day 4. Social presence and command. People will always treat you based on how they perceive you. If you continue presenting yourself the same way, the world will continue responding the same way. To become unrecognizable, you must redefine how you show up, physically, mentally, and energetically. Presence is more than looks or posture. It's about the feeling you create when you walk into a room. Do you radiate strength, confidence, and quiet authority, or do you simply blend into the background? Your body language, voice, and demeanor set the tone before you say a word. Speaking with clarity, standing tall, and moving with purpose all signal self-respect and control. Learn the power of silence, not to fill every pause with words, but to allow your energy to speak for you. People pay attention to those who don't rush to be heard, who speak with calm intention and grounded confidence. Presence is a feeling you create in others. They may not remember every word you say, but they'll remember the emotion you left them with. Take a hard look in the mirror. Study how you carry yourself, how you move, how you make eye contact, how you take space. Adjust where needed. Project strength without arrogance, confidence without ego. A strong presence isn't loud. It's assured. It's the posture of someone who knows their value without needing to prove it. The Stoics believed true power came from inner mastery. Marcus Aurelius didn't speak of appearances. He spoke of embodiment. He urged us not to debate what a good man should be, but to be one. That is how presence becomes effortless. It's not about dominating a room. It's about aligning your behavior with a deeper strength. Your presence should never be reactive, but deliberate and steady, regardless of who's watching. Seneca understood that words are tools. He believed that restrained speech carried more authority than excess. Speak only when your words serve a purpose. Every word should carry weight. Every pause should reinforce control. Even your breathing matters. Shallow, rapid breath betrays anxiety. Controlled breathing, practiced often by the Stoics, steadies both your mind and your demeanor. Before you walk into a room, slow your breath, clear your mind, and enter with intention. Use the Stoic exercise of premeditatio malorum. Mentally rehearse potential challenges so that nothing surprises you. Whether it's a difficult meeting, a high-stakes conversation, or a room full of strangers, arrive prepared. The more centered you are, the more others will naturally respond to your calm. Presence isn't about forcing people to notice you. It's about making your energy impossible to ignore. People sense strength in those who are grounded. If you believe you're insignificant, that belief will subtly shape your tone, your posture, your expression. Shift that narrative. Tell yourself you belong in every room. Act like someone who has earned their place, not by arrogance, but through conviction. Your inner dialogue creates your outer reality. Speak to yourself with the voice of someone you admire. Remind yourself daily of your strengths. Visualize your ideal self, how they move, how they interact, and start living as if you are already that person. Over time, this identity becomes real. Commanding presence also lives in your voice. Speak deliberately. Avoid filler words and unnecessary apologies. Let your tone be steady, your pace controlled. Watch great speakers. Notice how their pauses hold weight, how their confidence lingers in the air. Learn to speak in a way that makes people want to listen long after you're done. How you present yourself visually matters too. Your appearance sends a message before you speak. Dress in a way that reflects discipline, intention, and self-respect. Take care of your grooming. Refine your style to match the level you aspire to. You don't need luxury, just intentionality. A sharp appearance influences how others treat you and how you carry yourself. But beyond what's visible, presence is about emotional intelligence. Be fully present with others. Listen deeply. Make people feel seen and respected. The most magnetic individuals don't just shine, they reflect the light back onto others. True presence balances strength with warmth, confidence with connection. Understand social dynamics. Read the room. Adjust without losing yourself. Presence is a daily practice. It's in how you sit, how you stand, how you engage. It's in the thoughts you entertain and the self-image you uphold. Today is the day you stop blending in. Not by shouting louder, but by showing up as someone who owns their space with quiet certainty. The world doesn't need to be told who you are. Let them feel it. Walk as if you belong. Speak as though your words matter. Exist as though your highest self is already here. And soon, it will be. Presence begins the moment you choose to carry yourself like the person you were always meant to become. Day 5. Relentless action over endless thought. Most people stay stuck in a loop of ideas and overanalysis. They consume knowledge, draft plans, imagine success, but never move. They're trapped in the illusion that the perfect time will appear, that clarity will suddenly strike before action is taken. But that ideal moment never comes. The longer they wait, the more inertia builds, making action feel impossible. Today, that cycle ends. Today, you become someone different. Someone who doesn't just dream, but builds. What separates achievers from everyone else isn't luck or intelligence. It's the willingness to move despite uncertainty. Action, even when imperfect, creates momentum. Small steps done consistently will always beat endless preparation. Execution is a habit, one that requires daily effort. You don't wait for confidence. You build it through movement. The more you act, the stronger your belief in yourself grows. And that belief, in turn, fuels even more action. This is the feedback loop that propels the best forward while others stall. You don't need a complete plan. You need one move. Send the message. Start the project. Step into discomfort. Stop thinking about it and do it. That is how real change begins. The Stoics knew this truth well. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we should not argue about what a good person is. We should be one. Stoicism values decisive, purposeful action over hollow theory. Waiting, hesitating, overthinking. These are not virtues. They are traps. Instead, embrace the mindset of premeditatio malorum. Foresee the obstacles and prepare to meet them. Challenges aren't to be feared. They are tools for refinement. Seneca believed that hardship trains the mind the way labor trains the body. Each difficulty builds your capacity to endure and adapt. Another core teaching is the dichotomy of control. Epictetus reminded us to focus only on what we can influence: our effort, our decisions, our discipline. Let go of everything else. If you spend your time worrying about outcomes, you'll never take the first step. Action should not be delayed by what-ifs. It should be driven by what is possible now. To live with stoic execution, make decisions quickly and with conviction. The greatest leaders don't wait until they're ready. They act, then adjust. Relentless progress demands decisiveness. Stop letting doubt whisper excuses. Every second you hesitate chips away at your strength. You must create systems that force action. Set deadlines. Share your goals. Make public commitments that keep you moving. Comfort is the enemy of execution. Stretch yourself. Wake earlier. Choose the difficult path. Step into unfamiliar situations. That discomfort builds resilience, and resilience builds greatness. The path will not be perfect. You will fail, stumble, and question yourself. But if you stay in motion, you will outlast those who remain paralyzed by fear. Execution doesn't require brilliance. It demands consistency. Perfection is a myth. Progress is power. Track what you do. Review it daily. Refine your process. Build a routine of reflection to sharpen your strategy. Learn from each effort, but never stop making them. That's how growth compounds. Action breeds momentum. Getting started is the hardest part, but once you do, each step feeds the next. One conversation becomes a connection. One small win becomes a surge of confidence. Each success, no matter how small, builds into something greater. Stop waiting. The time for hesitation is over. It's not just about accomplishing goals. It's about becoming someone who moves through life with decisiveness and clarity. The person who acts while others wait. The person who creates outcomes rather than wishing for them. Greatness is built on the foundation of relentless execution. So take one step today towards something you've been putting off. Apply, speak, launch, move. Whatever it is, stop letting fear or doubt rule your future. Do the thing and watch your life shift. Day 6. Create a system that makes success inevitable. Success isn't built on bursts of motivation. It's forged through structure, discipline, and consistency. Motivation is unreliable. It rises and falls with mood, circumstances, and energy. Systems, on the other hand, are dependable. They don't rely on how you feel. They function regardless. A solid system ensures that even when motivation disappears, progress continues. You don't succeed because you have lofty goals. You succeed because you have the systems to sustain action when things get difficult. Those who win over the long term aren't necessarily the smartest or the most driven. They're the ones who build routines that remove friction, reduce hesitation, and make progress automatic. Instead of depending on willpower, build an environment that aligns with your goals. Eliminate distractions. Create simple routines that make productivity your default mode. When structure is in place, momentum builds effortlessly. Systems reduce the number of daily decisions you have to make. That mental clarity frees up energy for deep focus and execution. High performers don't operate on inspiration alone. They rely on predictable patterns that guide their actions, day in and day out. These routines, when repeated, compound. Small, consistent actions done over time create exponential results. The key is not intensity, but sustainability. To build a system that works, start with identifying the habits that matter most for your progress. Break them into small, actionable steps, and embed them into your daily routine. Track them, review them, improve as you go. Add accountability and reinforcement to strengthen consistency. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up every day with intention. The Stoics understood this well. They didn't rely on chance or fleeting inspiration. Seneca said that luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. That preparation came through structured daily discipline. Marcus Aurelius journaled to realign his values and actions, an intentional system of reflection and refinement. Their philosophy teaches us to act according to what we control, our choices, our routines, our effort. The Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, anticipating future setbacks, reminds us that obstacles will come. But if your system is solid, you stay on track. Even disruption becomes part of your process. With a strong enough structure, you absorb setbacks and keep moving. You don't rely on emotion. You rely on what you've built. Structure your days around action, not reaction. Focus on what you can influence. Let go of what you can't. This is how you train your mind to stay centered, efficient, and composed, no matter the circumstances. When your habits are aligned with your values, discipline becomes effortless, and your days build toward the person you're becoming. Install a daily schedule that supports your transformation. Group similar tasks together to avoid switching focus. Prioritize only the actions that truly move you forward, and cut everything else. Make your system a reflection of your highest self, then follow it without compromise. Once the system is in place, motivation is no longer necessary. Progress becomes inevitable. You stop relying on emotion to carry you. You let structure do the work. The more consistently you follow your system, the more natural it becomes. Discipline becomes identity. You don't chase success, you embody it. Start today. Build the framework that will carry you where motivation cannot. The version of you you're striving to become isn't built by chance. It's shaped by the system you choose to follow every single day. Day 7. Anchor your new identity in reality. You are no longer who you were. Over the past week, you've reshaped your thinking, overhauled your habits, and begun walking with a different kind of presence. But true transformation doesn't end with change. It begins with permanence. Shifting your identity isn't just about moving forward for a few days. It's about making sure you never turn back. Lasting change demands that you secure this new version of yourself and embed it so deeply into your daily life that it becomes your default. Not a peak moment, but your new baseline. Your mind, however, will naturally seek to return to the familiar. The old identity, the former comfort zones, the past narratives, they will try to reclaim their place. That's why your awareness now must be sharper than ever. From this point on, every decision becomes a declaration. There is no pause button, no neutral. You're either reinforcing your new identity or feeding the one you left behind. To truly solidify who you've become, You need repetition, structure, and absolute clarity. Start by setting a bold, long-term vision. See yourself not just a few days from now, but months and years into the future. Who are you becoming? What do you stand for? What standards will you never again compromise? Define this future self clearly and revisit that vision every day. Let it guide your actions, your routines, and your mindset. You must also continue refining the systems that brought you here. Discipline is not a short sprint. It's the engine that carries you forward when motivation fades. Align your habits with the identity you've claimed. Upgrade your daily structure to ensure growth is automatic, not optional. Eliminate what no longer fits. The clutter, the distractions, the influences that echo a version of you that no longer exists. The people around you matter deeply. Energy is contagious. If those in your orbit pull you backward, you must create distance. Surround yourself with individuals who challenge you, inspire you, and reflect the level you now hold yourself to. Protect your environment like your future. The truth is now in your hands. You've seen what's possible. You've felt what transformation looks like. You can't go back to pretending it's unreachable. You now possess the tools, the clarity, and the momentum. All that remains is this: commit without compromise. Act without excuse. Keep becoming the version of you that once felt impossible. Let this be the moment your evolution becomes permanent. Live the identity. Protect it, strengthen it, and never look back. If this message resonated with you and you're on your own path of transformation, share your journey in the comments. I'd love to hear how you're evolving. And if you're committed to becoming the strongest version of yourself, make sure to subscribe. This is just the beginning.